Closed captioning for the Casey Malone Show is sponsored by Hunter Stevens Land Title Agency. Integrity, service, and commitment you can trust.
Oh yeah, Casey Malone is serving up local. It's time for the stories of our region, the tastes, the sights, the sounds, and the people in and around the valley. Get ready for some local flavor on the Casey Malone Show.
Today we visit Walnut Grove Playground. It's accessible to everyone. I also prepare Thin Mint brownies. It's Girl Scout cookie time. But first we head up to Punxsutawney. Groundhog Day is February 2nd. Our quest begins at 4 a.m. We leave the area and we're heading up to Punxsutawney. Father Tim is the ambassador for Groundhog Day. And how many years have you been doing this, Father?
I'd say about 30 years.
What made you start this pilgrimage every year for Groundhog Day? What made you think this was a good idea?
Well, I'm sort of a rounder around here. I happen to be with Rick Jones. It was around Christmas time. And I said, Rick, guess where I'm going? I said, I have a reservation at the only hotel in Punxsutawney. He says, I know the guy that runs the whole town, Big John Miserak. He said, he'll take care of us. I said, Rick. And, you know, so anyhow, that was the start. And John Miserak, he ran the whole town and that whole part of, I guess it's western Pennsylvania. But so Rick and I came up here, and that was 30 years ago, and it's come a long way since then.
Jim Cawley is the Lieutenant Governor for the state of Pennsylvania. How important is Groundhog Day for this little borough of Punxsutawney?
It's not only important for Punxsutawney, it's in fact important for all of Pennsylvania. There are 30,000 plus people out there in sub-zero temperatures who have been here for hours. It's just a wonderful demonstration of friendship and fellowship and goodwill. It's a great place to be.
Have you been to Groundhog Day before?
I've been to Punxsutawney many times, but this is my first time at Groundhog Day, so I'm really enjoying it.
And what do you think the prediction will be from Phil?
Well, Phil whispered in my ear last night in Groundhogese, and he made me swear that I wouldn't tell, so I can't share it with you. I'm sorry.
Now, you're a very lucky person. Now, where did you take Groundhogese? What university offers that course?
Temple University, of course.
Well, it is 3 degrees outside, but inside here, the hunting club is where it's nice and warm, and this is where the inner circle and the media is allowed. Bob Roberts is part of the inner circle. How do you get such distinction, Bob?
Well, you're nominated to be in the inner circle, and then it has to pass a stringent vote. And that's how I got in, and now I'm trying to figure out how to get out.
The tradition is, now what year is this for the Groundhog?
127th trek at Gobbler's Knob. And we're all meeting here right now because we're going to start trekking here in a few minutes. It's 127 years.
Now, does everyone in the inner circle speak Groundhogese?
Only President Dealey. President Dealey is in this room right now. I don't see him, but he's the Groundhogese guy.
Bill Dealey is the president of the inner circle, and you possess the magic cane.
Without this cane, you cannot speak Groundhogese. That's the translation factor. So as long as I'm holding it, I'm able to speak with Phil and communicate whether we're going to have a spring or more winter.
This is an amazing magic stick.
Yes, it is.
And where does this reside when it's not here today?
This is kept in as president. We keep it and we just pass it on to the next president right down the line.
Well, good luck. We're going to head down and we're waiting for the big prediction.
We're out the door. We're ready to do it.
My new knob entrance is a sight to behold. Like my followers, faithful followers, strong and bold. And so ye faithful, there is no shadow to see.
Is here from Hillside, New Jersey, celebrating her 60th birthday. Is this your first Groundhog Day?
No, I went when I was 50, so this is my second.
So this is like a bucket list issue here?
Yes, it is. It is.
And I mean, isn't this amazing? What did you think?
I was so glad. No more winter. Early spring, the first time.
Hard to believe. Maybe spring in the Antarctic.
Yes, yes.
How long have you been waiting here?
Since about 3:15 in the morning. Yeah.
Well, happy Groundhog Day and happy birthday, Celeste.
Thank you very much. Take care.
We have two girls here from Annapolis, Maryland. How long have you been waiting for Phil's prediction?
About 4 hours. We've been here since about 3 o'clock this morning. We drove up here from Altoona. I drove here from Annapolis. And it's been freezing, but so exciting tonight. It's been so great.
What are you guys doing to keep warm?
Just moving around, hand warmers, dancing our butts off, doing whatever we can, making friends, and just doing whatever we can to keep warm.
We have got a newbie here at Groundhog Day. This is Dan, and what made you come down today?
We are from the Christianity American Legion, Post A65 PA, bus trip, and there's a bunch of us that it is like a bucket list, but we're not like working a bucket list, but it's just what we want to do. It is beyond what we thought it would be. We've had a blast and no regrets.
Well, Ken, this is your first Groundhog Day. What'd you think?
I had to be a virgin. I thought it was great, and what I like so much about it is nobody really knew if it was going to be 6 more weeks of winter or if spring was right around the corner. And I had a feeling that either choice was going to create a great big cheer, because I think people just wanted to get the heck out of here.
Can you believe this? This is the biggest crowd in the history of Groundhog Day, and you're here for it.
They were cheering Phil, 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 and I was thinking about somebody else, but then the groundhog came out, so it's good to be here.
Okay, here's proof that Father Tim has been here for the last 30 years. Look at this. We're wearing the ugly Christmas sweater. Our hair's a little more red. And how has the evolution of Groundhog Day from 30 years ago to this day today, which was the largest crowd in the history?
I just think it's, become more and more popular, and of course it's popular today because it's on Saturday. I was here last year and we just had about half the crowd, so it's just gotten more and more and more popular, and it's just something to do, and it's free.
We'll be right back with more local flavor. I am here with Rude the Dude at the Magic Tree Pub and Eatery, and you know they have a huge beer selection, but you have really upped your wine and, of course, your entree selection.
Yes, we did. We added about 30 new bottles of wine, also supporting some of our local wineries here. Wine on tap with Woodland Cellars and Hubbard. And then here we have, this is on our menu daily, our cedar plank salmon with our house-made blueberry salsa and vanilla porter barbecue sauce.
And that is just one of the many entrees that you can choose if you have your party over in the Wine and Spirits room. You can really select your menu, beer, wine, everything you want.
Yes, we customize your party to however you like it. We're actually starting to get booked up for graduations and weddings already for next year. This whole month's booked up, and it's a good place. Seats up to 150, and it's a good place to have a party.
That's right. Celebrate at the Magic Tree Pub and Eatery. Cheers!
Is it time to update your color style? RNS Paint will assist you with your choice of over 3,400 Benjamin Moore colors. Vibrant, durable, and easy to apply. Be current, be stylish. Shop RNS Paint.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Bernard. I've been giving the people of our valley free advice for over 30 years, and my message has never changed. If you're involved in a car, truck, or motorcycle accident, don't try to handle it yourself. Call a lawyer. A lawyer will be your representative, dealing with doctors, medical insurance, and all the red tape that you may face. Hiring a lawyer doesn't mean you'll end up in court, and remember, there are no upfront fees on personal injury cases.
That's good advice. Need a lawyer? Learn more at elizabethbernardlaw.com.
Mayflower Woolham is your full-service, independent insurance agency. We work with several insurance companies to offer you choices for your insurance needs. We'll find the right product at the right price. Personal, business, farm, life, trust Mayflower Woolham. You focus on what's important, we'll take care of the details. Mayflower Woolham, close by with 3 locations to serve you.
Rulli Brothers has a great choice of quality cheeses. We use our relationship with Old World Houses to specially select the product and then have it custom cut and packaged by our own local artisans. At Rulli Brothers Market, our family is in the store.
Join the Isle and Purple Cat family. Employment opportunities are available. Given is living.
Si hablas predominantemente español, te ayudaremos a aprender inglés. Ven a trabajar para nosotros.
Today, this is going to be a really quick and a really easy cooking segment. We're going to take it easy. This time of year is Girl Scout cookie time, and that's when you'll see Handles with their Thin Mint ice cream. And I thought, well, why should they have all the fun? I love Thin Mints, and my niece Cecilia is a Girl Scout, and she called and asked us to buy some of her cookies. So I did, and when I got these, I thought, you know what? I'm going to make brownies with Thin Mint bits in them. Instead of like chocolate chips to make them fudgier, I threw in crushed Thin Mints, and the result was excellent. And I'm just using a store-bought pre-boxed brownie mix. Duncan Hines is good. I really like the Ghirardelli. There's just all kinds out there. And instead of water, I add coffee, and it makes it that much richer. And boy, are they delicious. So I'm gonna share that recipe with you right now. For this recipe, you'll need 1 box of your favorite brownie mix, 18 to 20 ounces. Follow the boxed instructions, and where they ask for water, substitute it with coffee. You'll also need 1 sleeve, that's 16 crushed Thin Mint cookies, and then 2 crushed Thin Mint cookies for garnish. Now for this recipe, I'm gonna use a Duncan Hines because I like the dark chocolate. And they suggest 1/3 cup of oil and 1/3 cup of water. So I'm going to substitute the water for cold coffee because it really adds a richness to the brownie mix. And I'm going to use 1 sleeve of Girl Scout cookies. So, you know, I never really counted how many was in a sleeve. 1 sleeve had 17 and the other had 16. Isn't that crazy? So let's just go with 16. Maybe I had like the baker's dozen. And all I'm gonna do is put these in a sealed bag, my 16 cookies, and I'm gonna take a mallet and bust them up. I don't want them to be too broken up, but I do want them to be crushed enough so that the chocolate will melt and then you get the mint taste. Okay, so now we are going to get mixing. So I have the brownie mix. What I really like about brownies too is that I don't need the mixer or the stand-up mixer. It's just you and your spatula. So I'm going to add the oil. I'm using canola. You could use vegetable, grapeseed, just a neutral oil. And then the coffee. This is my little secret switcheroo ingredient. And then 1 egg. And if you think about it, try to bring them up to room temperature. And then my broken up Thin Mint cookies. I think they're better crushed. You know, I've seen recipes where people like them whole, but I think they melt much better and they really add a distinct flavor throughout the whole brownie mix. So all I'm gonna do is mix this. They suggest about 30 beats. And it'll come together and will form a really nice, rich brownie mix. With most brownie mixes, there's options, a 9x9 pan, an 8x8, even a 13x9. I'm going to use the 8x8. And I have already prepared the pan with some coconut oil. So I wipe that in. And I like to use glass more than metal. There's different cooking times, but I think glass is just easier to use. So now I'm going to take my mix and just spoon it in. I've preheated the oven to 350, and you'll want to bake that on the middle rack, but see all those nice chunks of the Thin Mint cookie? Oh. And according to the box directions, it says 30 to 34 minutes. So I'm gonna put it in and I'll start watching it at 30 minutes. So right when you take the brownies out of the oven and it is still hot, that is when you sprinkle on the 2 crushed cookies, because the chocolate melts and it adheres to the hot brownies. You could skip this step if you think you have enough, but I just think it makes for a nice presentation. Now, how easy was that? Is this a beautiful brownie or what? The hardest part of this recipe, honestly, is waiting for the brownies to cool so you can actually eat them. They're really nice, chewy, and dense. I just love them. Here, I gotta take a bite. Just the perfect treat. Thank you, Girl Scouts. Love these. And I think the best thing to drink with a brownie is, of course, a strong cup of coffee. Perfect to wash everything down. I just love this. Look for this recipe, my Thin Mint brownies, on my website, caseymalonесhow.com. You are going to love them, and they're so easy. Cheers. The Casey Malone Show will be right back with more local flavor.
To own a business where your name's on the window can be pretty cool. That's my family. My name is Danny Catullo, and I'm the owner of Catullo Prime Meats. My grandfather started the business in 1962. I was able to take our old style butcher shop and bring it out to the new age using e-commerce to get our products to more customers. When we started shipping, there was not a ton of information out there. That's where we really worked with FedEx so they could be able to help us with our perishable shipping. We were taking on new purchases that we never had to make before. Boxes, coolers, ice packs, anything that was involved around shipping. So we can no longer do this with the cash that we had on hand. So because of the Plum Card from American Express and all of its benefits, it was a natural fit to help grow our business. And when someone calls and lets you know that you made their dinner, that's satisfaction that you can't get anywhere else.
My basement was dreadful. Cracked concrete, chipped tiles, it was my dumping ground. Carpet, vinyl, wood don't last. Now I have Pebblestone, the best basement floor covering, made with natural stone and the strongest man-made binder. Pebblestone evened out my floor. Easy to clean, resists moisture, and withstands flooding. You will love your basement. Call locally owned Pebblestone and receive 50% off. It's not just any stone, it's Pebblestone.
Rulli Brothers is way ahead of the competition. Check out Rulli Spice World, where you can buy bulk herbs and spices, plus candies, nuts, and fillings for pennies on the dollar. At Rulli Brothers Market, our family is in the store.
Here at Creekside Fitness and Health Center, we are focused on you, from cardio and strength equipment to classes and personal training.
Your all-inclusive membership gives you access to a full-size basketball court, pool, hot tub, sauna, and steam room. And over 60 classes per week are all included free with your membership.
Membership and personal training specials are happening now, so come experience life on the fit side at Creekside, your neighborhood gym.
When you walk into Kamara Jewelers now, it's a completely different look. But it's also the same comfortable feeling that you get when you come in. There's more beautiful jewelry, more different designers to show you. You could really see how much we love our job and everything that we're able to offer to our customers.
So come to Kamara Jewelers, still the same people, same family ethics, 70 years, just a brand new look. You won't be disappointed.
Get real, get Kamara.
Well, phase 1 is nearing completion here at the Walnut Grove Playground, and Shelley Duchek is the president of the board. Excuse me very much. And this really is an amazing undertaking.
Oh my gosh, it is fantastic. We have had community volunteers, we've had community donations. We would not have this place without the community. It's awesome.
And, you know, I've never even really realized, you know, playgrounds, you see them everywhere, but you don't realize that they're not that accessible for disabled kids.
Yeah.
And what put that into your, why did this all come to be?
Well, the individual who donated the property to us had a desire to help children with disabilities. So a group of community members came over to talk, just get together and see what the community needed. And we don't want to duplicate services, so we wanted something new. And we came up with this idea that we needed an outdoor recreational venue that was conducive to kids of all abilities. So out of that dream, honestly, of the design plan, the playground was the very last thing we came up with.
Yeah.
Our playground was going to be just a couple swings, and now you can see by the time we're done, it's going to be an acre big.
I mean, and then you're just planning on expanding more and more. And what's awesome is this is all through volunteerism and private donations.
All private donations, volunteer time. We've gotten some wonderful services donated to help us. And this project is bigger than just this playground. I mean, we plan for Miracle League fields, so we'll have a baseball, a track. Behind the playground, there's actually accessible walking trails. So there will be nature trails through the wetlands. There's a bridge that connects to the Mill Creek Metro Parks bikeway. So there's all kinds of stuff for people to do when they come out here.
And then are you reaching out to the different organizations that help, you know, the children with disabilities? I mean, are they giving you some really good suggestions?
Yeah, you know, when we were putting the playground design together, we kind of just said, and we talked to parents a lot, what do you need? And one of the things that really came out is that there's no place for a family to go and play in this area. So if you have a child who's in a wheelchair, where's he going to go play with his sister? Because he can't get onto the play equipment going through the mulch and the rock. So this is a place where families can come together and just create memories and have fun, and it's inclusive. So you can play with your friends, you can play with your cousins, and just enjoy. There's no barriers on this playground.
And when will this officially be open and ready to go so people can enjoy it?
We are hoping in the next 4 to 6 weeks that we will have this open to the public. There's a few more things we need to do before we can, liability-wise and stuff, get this open to the community. But as soon as it is, it's going to be open during daylight hours. So, and we ask that people, when they do come out here, remember that it is all volunteers running this park. We don't have anybody on staff, so please throw your trash away. You know, keep the park clean.
And we're still in the fundraising stage, right? We're still accepting funds.
Yeah, we absolutely are. What you're looking at is really just the beginning of what we want to do. We have a dream to make an entire playground that is going to be an acre big. So when you look around here, there's not a swing on this playground. We need to add swings. We have plans for a zip line. We're putting in a sand pit, and we have this huge imagination area where there's a pretend fire truck that anybody can wheel up and just drive the fire truck from the top, the bottom. We have talk tubes so the people at the front of the truck can talk to the back. I mean, we tried to include everything we could possibly think of in this playground, so there's something for everybody.
Amanda is also on the board, and as I look at all this equipment, how do you know to order what has inclusive, play materials?
So when we were looking at each piece that was being put on this playground, we wanted to look at whether it was, it did sensory, it encompassed motor skills, cognitive, and social skills. And I'm looking at this because we actually made a book where each piece of equipment that we have, we thought of these 4 things first and foremost, so that every child, every adult, whether you have a handicap, a disability, you can come out to our property and you can use it. So if you have a son who is in a wheelchair, but you have 2 typical daughters, where are they going to play? Well, when they come out here, they can play on everything. He can go up on the ramps, he can go down the slides, he can pull himself on stuff. There's actually, if you have autism, we have little spaces all over where you can kind of go in, get that sensory overload out of the way. We have a little cozy dome behind us, and you can hide in there. Get away from the noise, get away from the people. So each piece of equipment that is on our property has a specific purpose.
How much property has been donated? So you're looking at an acre of
just playground.
So how much do you have to work with?
20 acres.
20 acres. I'm going to build a house in the back.
Okay.
Wouldn't that be awesome? Yes, but I'll be like the caretaker.
We could use you. You're hired.
No, this really is a wonderful project. It really is. And do you come up with like ideas of, with your board and all your volunteers?
Yeah, everything is done through volunteers. We make all decisions through a board. We are a 501c3, so we are run like a true board. Well, we are a true board. Any decisions that are made, they're made in a group. And all the decisions that we do make, they're very well thought out, and we have checks and balances in place because we do have a mission.
The 4th annual Swing, Wine, and Dine to benefit Walnut Grove is February 1st. Tickets available through walnutgrove.com. The Casey Malone Show is sponsored in part by Denise and John York and the DeBartolo Corporation.